So to give you an overview of what we will be covering today, first of all, the first four topics would be about the actual integration process itself. How do I integrate my CRM with my, for example, Outlook or Gmail-based email account? So again, in this process, you would be, for those of you who have done integration or have experienced it about 8 months ago, you will see a totally different way of doing it now. Now, we will also cover, as soon as we get and finish that, into sending and receiving emails within the CRM service. So you will be able to see, for example, how to create a new message and do things like, for example, ensure that you have an email signature in your emails. So that will be covered over here. Another important topic that we'll be covering will be how to search within emails. So many of us have, for example, used our Outlooks. If we are trying to look for a specific email on a specific date that we know is there in our Outlook, I would like to assure you the same functionality would also be available in CRM. And I will even show you 2 ways by which you could do such searching in order to come up with the email that you're looking for. And finally, for some of you who have done the integration already 8 months or even as late as 6 months ago, you probably saw already the particular effect of integrating as far as your organization records inbox is concerned. There is now a total change for the better in the user experience when you go into the inbox of your organization record, and I will also be showing you that. And finally, we will end with a Q&A for the last 15 minutes of this particular presentation. So how do we get started? Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you the PowerPoint, and then I will switch immediately to the web browser as soon as we finish the next series of slides. So first of all, this is how it will look like. This is called the integration wizard. It wasn't there before as late as 6 months ago. So we developed the wizard instead of you having to enter those, what's the SSL number? What is that particular other type of information that's so techy that's being asked of us. So in order to resolve that and make it user-friendly for everybody, we created the wizard. And in order to get to the wizard, that's the reason why, if you noticed, I encircled this particular icon, which, as you know, is the inbox icon. So if you click on the inbox icon, that's where you will get the wizard. And after getting the wizard, you will then be asked to actually choose which type of email system or account you're integrating your CRM to. So the 2 chief suspects, based on their being selected by majority of users around the world, would be MS Outlook and Gmail of Google. So I just put a little bit of a message here. If your Office Outlook is coming because it's part of the package of your Office 365, make sure you select Office 365, not this. Okay. Gmail is quite easy. You select Gmail if needed. Now, what will happen here is that you will be simply asked to follow the prompts. And there might be some little items that will appear along the way. If you're an Outlook user, you may be able to see the following. These, if you notice, is not coming from CRM. They're all coming from Outlook. All you need to do is go with the prompts, okay? And it will resume the integration process. This is showing up as a result of the way your Outlook administrator programmed your Outlook account. CRM has totally no effect on this showing up. Okay. Now, there might be, for Outlook users, you might encounter something like this. If you see this particular message saying need admin approval, okay, what you need to do is to, if he's handy, pull your administrator beside you or contact him on a Zoom call and have him remote control your computer and let him set the Outlook parameter of your Outlook server to allow integration to CRM. Okay, that's very important. I would strongly advise the CRM users, if you're not an Outlook administrator and you're not familiar with Outlook administrator settings, do not touch it. Simply because you could screw up your entire Outlook settings for the rest of the company, even the non-CRM users. So let the expert Outlook administrator, he may be the IT guy you have on call who visits you on a contractual basis every week, have him or her do the setting. The important thing to remember is once you are cleared to go, the rest of the users of CRM in your company will no longer encounter this. It takes only one user of CRM to be approved by the administrator of Outlook, and the rest of the CRM users will no longer see this. Problem solved. For Google users, these are the types of prompts you may see. Again, just go with the prompts. Okay. As simple as that. So this would be, for example, that would be the series of 4 prompts you might encounter if you are a Google user. So now let's go into the actual integration process using our CRM. So what I would do right now is I would simply go back to the starting position. As I mentioned, this is the starting position. There's the wizard. Now just click, and the wizard is now going to ask you, okay, which of this is your system? Since I am using Microsoft Outlook, I will be heavily using Outlook. Therefore, I am going to choose Office 365. And then here's what I mean by going with the prompts. Okay, asking me, is this your email? Of course. It's just, okay. Okay. Just go back one step. I'm being affected by internet items today. Okay, let me just go back and start all over again. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Let me just go back here. Oh, okay. Okay, what happened was, looks like I was doing a lot of prompts. Looks like I was doing a lot of prompts. So therefore, what happened here is, as I was going through all the prompts, looks like my display or the latency of my computer was so slow. Okay, I totally missed. I was doing so many nexts that we weren't even able to see it. But the upshot is I did not encounter the bumps. So my particular Outlook system in the office was approved for CRM. So immediately it made my particular folders in my Outlook visible on the CRM. So once I see this, integration has now been achieved. Okay. So if you notice, all of the folders within my particular Outlook, and I'm going to show you my Outlook. Okay. Okay, not you. Are actually, so if you notice, these are my folders. So I even have subfolders under my all purpose. If I switch back to the CRM, you're going to see the same folders, and there's also my all purpose showing me the same 3 subfolders I have over there. Now, notice that, for example, in this particular item, it is showing me, for example, the presence of my particular email, the contents of this particular email. This work very much like the way they would work in an Outlook. This allows you, for example, to reply all, forward, delete the message, print it out if you like. So now, if you're using Google, you will have the Google equivalents of this particular view. Okay. So definitely. Now, if the day comes that you wish to break the integration, you could actually simply go here and say delete account. So just remember, if the day comes that you would like to break your integration, just go to the gear icon and click delete account. In the same way, for those of you who are company admins, you know that you could actually go into anybody's account. So if, for example, there's a particular CRM user who resigns from the company and you would therefore like to break his current integration with the Outlook account of your office, then all you need to do, you don't need to erase all of his emails. All you need to do is to break the integration by clicking delete account. And be assured that any trace of all the emails that is showing up here in CRM will be removed, totally removed. Okay. So if we go back a little bit and switch back here, this is what I was saying before. So the contents of the CRM inbox and subfolders will be the same as in the Outlook or Gmail due to the integration sync. So once you are integrated, sync happens between your Outlook or your Gmail together with your CRM. I simply demonstrated to you the use of the gear icon to break integration if you wish. And again, I also mentioned that any company admin can use the same technique to break integration for an employee who has departed the company. The next item that we would strongly suggest is for you to set up your email signature, okay, before you create your first email. As you have already experienced before, even in Outlook, just the fact that you created, for example, an email signature in your client, in your Outlook client, doesn't necessarily mean if you access your exactly same email in your OWA, the web version of your client, you will already get the same email signature. Or if you're using, for example, some other way by which you would access your Outlook account. So it is also in CRM, you might want to create a signature. And the way to create a signature would be like this. I describe the process here. So I'm letting the recording make this visible to you so that you will be able to see it at your own leisure. In execution, this is how it will happen. So because I am logged in as an administrator, or sorry, better yet, not as an administrator, but as a user, you go to your user details instead, because this is for everybody, not just the administrators. You click on your update information, or better yet, your my email settings, and there is your signature. Okay, so if I click on the signature, this is where you would actually be setting up your signature over here. Okay. So what some people simply do in order to get good looking ones is to create their signature in Microsoft Word, for example, and then copy and paste from Microsoft Word the signature that they created there into this particular dialog box. And the minute you click on update, your signature will be changed. Suffice it to say also that if you break the integration between CRM and your email account and later on decide to reintegrate it, you have to start all over again. Just like what happened to me right now. Last night, there was something in here. Because I broke integration, I now have to start anew and do this. So that's how the email signature works. Okay. If we switch back here, and this, by the way, this is the email signature I created last night. Now we go to the actual way of sending an email. So if we switch back here, you simply go back to your inbox. Okay, sorry for that. All you need to do is to click on plus new email. You will get, as expected, a message box where you would be able to type your entire body of the text. If, for example, your company administrator assigned or made available a couple of email templates, they will be found here. And in this, had you created your email signature before, the email signature will be showing up at the bottom. Fill this out. All you need to do is to click on send email. So for example, I send an email to my own self and I call it test. And then I say, for example, quick brown fax. And I decide send. It will actually go into my Outlook inbox. But because my Outlook inbox is also synced to the CRM, I should now be able to see the same thing right here, okay, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so now you can see that CRM can definitely send and receive emails. Now, if you're wondering, how will it appear to the other people who are receiving my message? If, for example, you have a domain name like @canamsys.com or your company domain name, they will exactly see your company domain name even if you sent the email from CRM and not in your Outlook client. Okay, so that's how this one works. And if you're curious about how do we set the select templates again or create templates, feel free to review. For those of you who have attended the September 16, 2020 Lunch and Learn, this was what we covered during that particular, or part of what we covered during that particular Lunch and Learn. Okay. So there's also now searching for emails within Outlook. So what we simply wish to point out is this particular box that I'm pointing to in Outlook, the search box. You know that, for example, if I click there, you could do searching, is functionally the same as the search box you can find in CRM. They're functionally the same. So you can use, now the only trick to remember is that you can, but when you're searching here, you're actually searching also within your Outlook folders, okay? And any search that you do here will apply to both your subfolders and your inbox. So if you're curious, is it the inbox only? No, including the subfolders, okay? So therefore, notice that we even use the same icon to make it easy for people to transition, in this case, between Outlook and CRM. Now, one of the things also that not so many people know, and this is why I created these slides here. So this is what I was showing you. You could search this way. You could also search in another way by using so-called macros, or as some people call them, search operators. So those of you who are very familiar, for example, with Boolean type searching, you will appreciate this. So I put here in this example, instead of me clicking on this funnel to produce the fields, I could actually use a series of commands or syntax from Outlook. If I apply this, for example, it will show me every single email to me and from me, whether in my inbox or in my subfolders, that came in or came out after December 31, 2020. And if you're wondering, where exactly do I find these search operators? We actually gave you a link. So for example, for Outlook, if I click here, you will be able to find, for example, that after command, I simply copied from this one here. And if you switch back here and you're wondering, how about for Gmail? They have their own search or set of operators. So the only rule of thumb to remember, as I mentioned also over here, back in the 16, is if you're integrated with Outlook, use the Outlook reference website that I just showed you. If you're integrated with Gmail, use the Gmail macros or search operators. Okay. Now, how about the organization record inbox? Okay. For some of you, now I'm pretty sure not all of you have done the integration with CRM before, but for those of you who did, one of your main concerns back then would probably be the following. If I integrate my email with CRM, I can, of course, go into the organization record, click on activities, and as you probably know by heart right now, right next to your favorite notes link over here is inbox. For those of you who have tried integration before, one of the things you probably disliked about doing the inbox thing is that although you can see emails related to this record because of the integration, if somebody comes into the same record at the same time you're there and looks at the same record and clicks to the inbox, they can see your inbox. Privacy alert, okay? Privacy concern. That's probably one reason why there are some users before who purposely avoided, oh God, I don't want to integrate my inbox because everybody will see my deep, dark secrets, especially if somebody is sending you emails that are personal in nature to your corporate email. You don't want them to see that. Therefore, as part of the revamp of the email integration process, we have totally removed the privacy concern. So first of all, if two CRM users integrated to their company Outlook try to access the same inbox, the scenario I just mentioned, they will only see their respective inboxes, not the others. This is worth repeating. This addresses the privacy issue. Okay, so whenever you are in here, logged and you're integrated, you will always see your inbox. And if person B is also similarly logged in here, we can assure you they will only see their own inbox, not yours. And because of the improved privacy, if the user wishes to share content from an email, so what you need to do is still go to that email and do a copy and paste if you wish to share the information and make that into a note. In any case, the note link is just right next to the inbox. Most importantly, whenever you actually click inbox and your email is integrated, what it tries to do is to immediately look for emails to and from the particular contact that you have selected. Now, notice here that AAA insurance, we have a couple of contact records. So because I selected Alvin Chipmunk, it's trying to look for emails from Alvin Chipmunk to and from Alvin Chipmunk's inbox only. So inbox only at this point. At this point, it's not looking through the subfolders. It's only looking at the inbox. Had I switched to Brian McCall, it will now look for to and from the inbox of Brian McCall. Okay, so no more privacy issue. Okay, so let me just switch back here just to give you a taste of that. So if I, for example, go here and look at an organization record and I follow exactly the same AAA insurance, which I go here. As you can see from my contacts, I have multiple. Okay. Okay, so if I go next into the activities and go to the inbox, so there's Alvin Chipmunk. And if I go to Brian McCall, it will attempt to filter. So the default logic is from and to your inbox. However, there is also the funnel. Okay, the funnel is now remember, because it says, there's a reason why it says inbox, it's only looking within the inbox. Now you can also use this in order to search for any item within the inbox using the other parameters other than from and to. Okay. Okay, so I'll just go here. So with that, that's our presentation. We now open the floor to questioning by using your particular chat box if you have any questions at this point related to the presentation. By the way, we have actually developed a series of manuals or user guides related to the integration, how to integrate, to provide you with a handy reference. Based on the all of the registrants for this particular Lunch and Learn, we will be providing copies of those for both Gmail and Outlook. Also, just to be, if you noticed earlier, there are also possibilities that if you are going, for example, to integrate a non-Gmail or a non-Outlook like a Yahoo Mail, the wizard will also work with that. The only reason I used, for example, Outlook in this presentation is simply because Outlook is the most widely used email client, followed by increased by Gmail over the past few years. Okay. Okay, so if there are no questions at this point, I would like to wish you all a good day. Thank you very much for attending the presentation. Again, if you have an email, for example, if you would like to email a question that did not occur to you right now, but occurred to you a few hours from now, or even a few days from now, feel free to send that email inquiry to our support team, and it will find its way towards me, and I will reply to your inquiry. Okay. So with that, thank you very much, and have a great day. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.